was like in the 200 range last time when I competed.
All
Dang.
right.
Hi,
Again,
welcome
adventures and
to Ilea
welcome.
Talks About Marching Band.
The podcast. Episode
These are all
25.
my guests for today. We have Trainer Jody,
Marching
Lex
band.
Rosenberg,
I
Elias
Marching
Thompson.
band.
played the
Okay.
triangle. Ding.
I marched with a tenor sax.
You would.
As probably is figured out by my handle, I play trombone as my main instrument.
I marched with the trombone. I was technically the low brass section leader, so I had the bones, I had the marching euphoniums and the sousaphones.
You had all the instruments that nobody ever knows what they are when they hear the name.
I know what a
Low
sousaphone
brass.
is.
Yeah, but
We
you're
had
a
a
theater kid.
we had
No,
a,
it was because my roommate in my freshman year of college was a sousaphone player.
I was a theater kid and have no idea what those instruments are
Okay.
because I was not.
euphonium is a mini tuba, and a sousaphone is a tuba that wraps around the person.
A euphonium is a baritone. That's what it is.
We had this dude that played euphonium in concert band, but didn't want to use the marching euphoniums because you have to carry them on your shoulder. So he learned how to play valve trombone because for whatever reason he figured that would be easier than marching with a euphonium on his shoulder. He was pretty decent at the valve trombone, though valve trombone gets rid of one of the most interesting aspects of the trombone,
Yeah.
which is the slide.
I'm not a fan of valve trombone personally because I like my slide. Though I understand why some would use it in marching band because less injuries. My first year of high school marching, we had a spin your partner, do-si-do. And so in groups of four, while spinning, you became smaller and then expanded out again. Um, and my group was four trombones.
How many
I
survived to the end of the year?
I definitely hit someone in the back of the head.
Hmm.
To be fair, then we did a parade, and the sousaphone player behind me didn't stop when they were supposed to stop. So then I got hit in the back of the head. But I consider that stupidity rather than a side effect of marching band plus having to go to sixth position while doing that move. For
Anyway,
reference.
so welcome to Tears of the Realms. Yes, this is
That's
our
what we're
cipher
doing?
powered uh
Oh
tabletop
shoot, we're live?
RPG in our weird messed up version of the Breath of the Wild Tears of the Kingdom flavor of Hyrule and the people below me. I think half of us are marching band kids. So that's cool.
I was never a marching band kid. I was only a theater kid. But
I
I
was a
know a lot.
community band kid.
Did
It
you
was a bunch
really
of old people
know
and me.
we were
Aw.
I got called Hey Kid for like 4 years straight.
I'm
Aw.
sorry for your loss.
It was great. I love them.
Yeah.
The town I went to high school in had a band that actually played antique instruments, as in the instruments themselves were like 100 years old.
Hmm.
Um, and that was really cool. But announcements. Um, Echoes of Wisdom has been out for over a week now. I believe on the channel you guys have played through the whole game at this point. I would hope so.
Potentially.
Possibly.
I know I'm not even close to done.
Neither am I. I got to a certain point and then I got distracted and I need to
based
get
on
back
who
to
streamed it.
finishing.
I'm gonna guess no.
Oh. I think, oh God, I thought was it Rebecca that recently posted that she finally she just saw the credits roll on Echoes of Window?
Rebecca's done.
Yeah, so
I have
In my
someone
defense,
associated with the channel
in
is
my
actually done
defense,
with the game.
last week, part of the week was just doing theater things. So I haven't had time to really play anything.
That's the story of your Zelda universe journey, Lex. We know.
Damn.
So yeah, that's a thing that's happening. In tabletop RPG news, The Welcome to Night Vale TTRPG backer kit has launched. Renegade Game Studios, the people that make the Power Rangers RPG and G.I. Joe and Transformers, they're using the system that powers all those RPGs, Essence 20, to create a Welcome to Night Vale RPG, and they're running a backer kit right now to do it. Their goal for the backer kit was $25,000. The last time I checked, they were at over 300,000. So they apparently met their goal like instantly. And now they're scratching their head for stretch goals. So that's very cool. If you're interested in either Welcome to Night Vale or just tabletop RPGs in general that are based on a strange, slightly sci-fi horror-ish podcast set in a strange Midwestern town. So
Like
yeah.
Prairie Home Companion meets Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, that sounds like fun.
It's really fun. It's hilariously creepy.
Oh, I love
fun.
that.
You have just made a fan.
Yes.
Yeah, if you haven't listened to the podcast, it's amazing. The storytelling's great. The characters are so off the wall.
And they have a lot of guests on there that are like Felicia Day. I think most of the guild cast has been on there. Brendan Lee Mulligan's been on there. Will Wheaton's been on there.
The voice
Like-
acting is fantastic.
That's amazing. I love that.
It's good stuff. So now they're turning it into a tabletop RPG. So that's very cool.
Woo.
So that's a thing. The Dungeon Master's Guide for the 2024 flavor of D&D 5th edition is coming out in November. Early access, I think, is going to be end of October. So that's a thing that's going to be happening soon. Wizards of the Coast is doing their blitz marketing again, talking about every single thing in the book for like 2.5 seconds. So yeah, other announcements going on right now.
I both. beat
I
the
got in a
game.
musical.
Congrats!
Yay! Are
So
we at a point where we can announce anything?
technically no, or at least
Okay.
publicly. Everyone here will find out in DMs in like 3 seconds, but
Yay!
I can't say publicly yet. So
Yay!
Congratulations.
Can't say put. Does that mean it's like a Marvel movie or something? Like what?
Yes, he has been cast in the
Jody,
revival of
he booked!
Spider-Man Across the Dark.
Across the
turn
dark.
off the dark. How
Turn off the dark.
dare
There it
you.
goes.
If you're
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
make
No.
fun of a show, get the goddamn title accurate. Especially for a show that I've seen.
Why does
Did you
it-
see it on one of the nights when somebody nearly died?
No, but I did see it right
Not
after
to
the
your
reviewers said,
knowledge.
screw it, we're just gonna go. Because that
There's a-
show was in previews for like 6 months. It started previews in November. I think that accident happened in around that time. It was still in previews in February when my high school class went to New York. And right before we went, every reviewer went, it's been too long, we're just gonna go. And it was the original version. And we saw it the day the reviews came out and dragged it to hell. And we were like, what is this gonna be? And it was a mess of a show in terms of its book. Some of the songs are okay, visually stunning, but oh my god, that original book was a goddamn mess.
When
was a
your
trip.
show has an actual body count that can rival the mythological body count of the Scottish play, you've done something wrong.
You know, maybe you don't do a whole number about shoes.
We're not in a theater right now. We can say Macbeth.
Lex, they did a whole musical about shoes.
Even when you're in a theater.
Yeah,
you
but
can
not for
say Macbeth.
Spider-Man.
This is the theater of the mind.
Okay,
How
well, we
dare
haven't
you.
started the theater of the mind yet. We're in podcast mode.
We're
still,
always
so-
there.
I don't even believe in the curse. However, when I was in high school, one of the shows I was in when we did West Side Story, it was student directed, and the director, who was a year older than I was, believed in it so strongly that even just mentioning the Scottish play, like that actual phrase, got him really weirded out. And if anyone
Aw.
actually said Macbeth, he flipped his shit.
Oh.
So it is mostly a trauma reaction at this point that I use the Scottish play, because I'm terrified of like hitting a note for someone and them just going off.
We
But-
actually did Macbeth for 1 year in high school. There were a lot of people who were weird about
I'm a
never
l-
saying the name of the play, even though it
I'm
printed
not
everywhere.
superstitious, but I'm a little stitious. And that is one of the things.
I'm just
That is
stitious.
fair.
Yeah. I'm a But yeah, the
mean, it's
original
not-
Spider-Man was they made this character named Arachne, who's like the first spider in Greek myths. Made her like a major character in this. Ian and like gives Peter Parker the powers, and at some point she gets like really just pissed at like Peter because like he wants to hang out with Mary Jane instead of like utilizing his powers, and she goes straight up, "What does she have that I don't? I know, shoes. Bring me those shoes." And it's just a bunch of chorus people with multiple legs trying their best with what they have, and we're all just sitting here going, what the fuck is what's happening here?
You know that there are musicals with more ridiculous musical numbers as their basis.
You don't expect it out of Spider-Man is what I'm
I don't
trying to
expect
say.
Spider-Man to be a musical in the first place, but look at that and look at Shrek.
Well, that seems like
Hey,
your
hey, hey,
Shrek
hey,
is actually
hey,
quite
you
enjoyable
leave
to watch.
you leave Shrek out of
That's
this.
not a comment on how good either of these things are. It's just
You leave Shrek
why
out
does
of
it
this, I
exist at
swear to
all?
God.
I'm just gonna say a title. We don't have to talk about it. But if we want to talk
How that's
about
gonna work.
musicals that should not be musicals, The Book of Mormon.
Mm.
You know,
And yet it's
Trey
great.
Parker and Matt
Phenomenal. Phenomenal
Actually-
show.
Stone. Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
But
all
how
I
in the
need to
world
say.
they were able to sell, oh, we're going to call a musical
But-
The Book of Mormon.
Because it's Trey Parker and Matt Stone.
Yep.
It's the South Park people.
The Book
When
of
you say from the
Mormon,
creators of South Park, it excuses a lot for people.
And the people who wrote Avenue Q.
I've never seen it, but the Book of Mormon is not actually a musical retelling of the contents of the Book.
No,
of Mormon,
it's not.
right? It's
No,
something
it's
not
totally
even
different,
close.
Right? Unlike
It's about-
kind of more
it's
of a
about-
lampoon of how ridiculous it
or
is.
about
Spider-Man.
Mormon
They're not trying to
missionaries
be
that go to
original source
Africa.
material.
There is at least one song where there is a retelling, kind of
Kind
how
of.
it came to be.
But
Well,
also,
that's just like
it's
Bad Omen.
it sold because it was literally the combination of the people of South Park and one of the composers of Avenue Q, because it's also Robert Lopez, who then after that wrote Frozen and all the fun things for Marvel, so including the stuff for Agatha all along. So you're welcome.
Thank you. What?
And
I haven't
so
even watched.
that's why
I've been
everyone...
burned too many times by Marvel at this point. I haven't even watched Agatha all
I
along.
haven't watched this Wednesdays yet, so shh.
I'm not saying anything. But yeah, it's literally just that show became a musical just because really honestly a lot can be done just by being like, it's the South Park people.
What shocks me even more about that musical, though, is all the Mormons I know love it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing about satire. When it's done well, it's not insulting.
Mhm.
It's just funny. A lot of people call insults satire to try and make themselves feel like they're smarter than they actually are. When you actually have people that are skilled at satire, it's funny. Like Dogma is funny.
I love Dogma, yeah.
They also just
a lot of people
rewrote
had
a part of
problems
that
with
show.
Dogma, though. Yeah.
Do you know Kevin Smith protested Dogma?
Yeah.
There was
He
a
heard
bunch of
people were going to protest, so he went and joined them.
Kevin's
and he got interviewed. He got interviewed. Like they have an interview. It's like, so what don't you like about Dogma? And he's just like, he apparently like borrowed a sign or something when he was there too. So he was protesting his own movie. It's amazing. Anyway,
My announcement that Lex interrupted was that I have beaten the game of Echoes of Wisdom, and I
Oh.
started a second file where I performed the glitch to play as Link.
There's a glitch to play as
Okay.
Link.
That's
It
fun.
completely breaks the game, and also ruins the point of the game. But it's a funny little thing.
Interesting.
How quickly
That's
can
fun.
you beat the game with that glitch?
I don't even know if you can beat it. Because
I kinda-
you need Zelda's powers to do some stuff.
Yeah.
And you can't do them when you're Link. So
If you
The
can't conjure
answer is go
beds,
backwards.
You play.
I
in
kind of
reverse.
like, again, I haven't beaten the game yet, but with just how much fun it has been, I would love to see a randomizer for the game where all they randomize is the monsters that you get, or the
we're-
different echoes.
We're less than a week from release, Jody. Maybe give them some time before they're able to to randomize.
I know, I'm just saying, like, that sounds like a really fun randomizer to me. So yeah. Other news type things. Legend of Vox Machina season 3 came out a few days ago. So if you're into Critical Role or just really good cartoons, watch it. It's on Amazon Prime. It's great.
Critical Role is so intimidating to get into right now because there's so much of it. It's like I'll never catch up.
The way I honestly been recommending it to people for campaign 1, just watch the show because it is a condensed version. It hits all the same beats.
Box Machina?
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
Legend
the
of Vox
animated
Machina.
show.
Watch the Prime for
Mhm.
campaign 1, just watch the Prime show because they're doing a very good job of condensing everything in a way that works and can get people going through them.
Mhm.
Honestly, for me, I will say if you're gonna start doing any sort of stuff with Critical Role, watch some of the side stuff like Xandria Unlimited or Calamity or all that kind of stuff. But I feel like I'm recommending for anyone getting into any like RPG stuff, Dimension 20, I think is easier to get into because every single show, for the most part, are independent anthologies. There are a couple that are more sequels, like Mists of Magic and like Fantasy High. But most of them
Also-
are one round of just one season.
Their episodes also don't go for 5.5 to 6 hours.
Yeah, no, they're
every
like
week.
maybe 2.5 hours max.
So there are
Also,
benefits
Omar
to
was
editing.
on them. So
I think Omar's been on a few times.
Omar was on the Court of Fey and Flowers.
yep.
Erica
He's
Ishii's been on
also
there.
he's also in the Tears of the Kingdom one shot that they did, which was powered by the Apocalypse. And Erika Ishii is a staple of Dropout now and has been on a bunch, not just Dimension 20, but also Game Changer and Actually, and they have tried to convince everyone that the United States government should build them a Gundam in Smarty Pants. And a lot of cool
Again,
stuff.
most likely to take over the world.
I have the
And
utmost
I would let
respect
them.
for Erika Ishii as an actor, just as a person in general. I would pay money to ensure that she is never given a Gundam, or they're never given a Gundam.
And I would pay to make sure that they can. I accept my Erika Ishii overlords.
I will just come and watch with popcorn.
Just watch the world burn.
Yeah, I'm
Hey,
like, if
we're
this
already
is what
there.
we're doing now, sure.
Look, I'm game.
World had to end somehow. Let's end it with giant robots.
Like,
Come
I
on,
am
friends.
very
Crazy
seriously,
voice
my
actors.
father and I have decided if the world ends and we're in the same house, we're just gonna go out on the roof and like watch. That's all we're gonna do. So at some point
So
you have to go,
anyway.
well, that's what's happening.
So cool stuff happening all around. Otherwise, another thing, Linktober is going on right now.
It
If you're not,
is going on right now.
It's October now.
It is.
Yay!
if you're
So
not
I am still
familiar,
90 degrees.
if you're not familiar with Linktober, Linktober is an art challenge that happens every October, where each day you are given a prompt and you are encouraged to make Legend of Zelda themed art based on that prompt. I know Zelda Universe is somehow tangentially involved in it somehow. I don't know how, but I think they're supporting it in some way. I saw them tweet about it.
It's on the forum. Their forums. You can post your art.
Sure, there we go.
So
But
October
stuff there.
1st was Mirror. October 2nd was Friends. October 3rd was Zelda. Yesterday was Dark or Night.
And what's
So
Dark
today?
Knight.
it's fun. I haven't looked at today's yet because I just woke up.
so have you been participating? Have you been making drawings every day or just looking at the things?
So I had to combine Mirror and Friends because I was at Disneyland on those 2 days. So it's actually Mirror, Friends, and Zelda that are combined. So
I have this bad habit. I have a stupid friend of mine that's playing through Dark Souls 3, and every time he comes across a new enemy, I just come up with a name that involves the word friend. Like there's these one weird zombie monsters that are made up of all these different worms that they try to like grab you and strangle you. So I go, Huggy Friend.
Today's Linktober theme is sacred.
Ooh. The Sacred Sword, Sacred Realm podcast.
Sacred the Feeling.
Aggressive Cuddle Buddy. I kind of like that as like a description of like Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Aggressive cuddling, aggressive competitive cuddling.
I've
Sorry,
heard
I
it
just
described
imagined
often
Link
as
like-
aggressive hugging.
Yes. I just imagined Link like sitting there praying and as he's sending a Korok off on a rocket.
Well, we know what check.
Yes, Tears of the Kingdom, otherwise known as Korok War Crime Simulator. Anyway, I think we have discussed enough of the things. Unless you guys
This is why we do not leave the Minish realm.
unless you guys would
Besides the
like
fact
me
we want
to
to keep
talk about
Scotty
the
here.
fact that Super Megaforce was a pirate themed Power Rangers series that never acknowledged that they were pirate themed ever in the entire series. And
We've talked about that several times.
Have
yes,
we?
but I'm going to talk about it again. No,
Wants
I
to
think
work
it's
on my Egypt paper.
Fine.
I think it's time for us to return to the Tears of the Realms. Damn it, Imp. The Tear Walkers have returned to the Minish realm. After originally leaving the Tier of the Minish and returning to the Hyrule that they all know, they discovered that nearly 6 months had passed and the Sheikah from the Tier of Etsu Korimala had come and started attacking not only Hyrule, but apparently seemed to be traveling to other tiers as well. The Tears core that they returned to was a very different core than they remembered. Much more militarized, with walls, with weapons mounted on them, guards everywhere. In discussing future plans with Kess, they were given a choice between going to a tier that had recently turned dark or returning to the Minish Realm to see if they could extract a piece of the tier crystal to hopefully have a way to no longer be required to return to the central crystal in each of these tiers to be able to leave. When they returned, they started experimenting and discovered that whatever this central crystal is, it is not reacting the way they expected. And that is where we return. So,
Experimentation. Where do we leave off? Let me see my notes.
You're the only hope we have of knowing.
I
that.
nearly got sucked into the crystal.
True. I think Dottie is chiseling away.
yeah, so I think Ash tried using the chisel and it just kind of skated off.
Normal mining doesn't work. It reacts to parts of itself in the forms of teardrops as if it tries to absorb them. And then I think Jax was trying to figure out if stuff from the tier could be used to mine it instead of the stuff we brought, and I don't know if it was working well.
It was receiving some purchase, or the vines that I was trying to use and the thorns were getting some purchase on it, but Dottie was actually, Fubari was actually able to scrape off bits of it. They're just not large bits right now. So currently, Fubari, I think we ended where you were searching your pockets for materials from this tier that you could use on the crystal to try and take off a piece, since it was
Acorn
effective.
bombs.
Yes.
And if I remember correctly, I believe that the bits that Fubari was able to get off weren't actually bits of the crystal. They were actually bits of the vines that were grinding against the crystal.
Yeah, it was
So thus
Right.
far, you guys haven't been able to actually
Friction
damage the
dust.
crystal anyways.
Right, but we were able to get purchase on it,
Yes.
correct me
which is an improvement.
if I'm wrong, Jody, but did we know that Tsukori and Malashika were going to other tiers? I don't
Yes.
remember that detail. Okay.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. Because they started by attacking Hyrule and then they stopped attacking
Yeah, I know they
Hyrule.
stopped. I just thought they vanished because no one else knew where they went.
Oh.
But if Jackson
Well,
said
it's
that I just
to be
wasn't paying
perfectly honest,
attention.
it's been theorized because they have seen kind of movement among the tiers.
Okay.
So that's kind of the accepted explanation right now as far as the tier score is concerned, is they're going to other tiers instead of attacking the tier score.
Well, that's fun. Okay. Sorry to interrupt science. Please continue.
That's fine.
Dinesh is suddenly very sleepy. The
No.
the not successful mining process took a lot out of him.
Yeah. It's very exhausting not mining.
And the suit's heavy. Just walking in it is,
Yeah.
So
Okay, but Mari,
Um,
what else do you have in your pockets besides bombs?
bombs.
Oh, so many things. Oh, yes, I have. What do you want?
I don't know, like, do you have a screwdriver of sorts and a mallet or something like a drill that,
I think we had fashioned a drill last time, but I don't know if we actually used it.
No, I don't think we did.
Okay.
I think
So you
you
do
only
have
used the
like a
chisel
hand
and
crank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
drill.
like a little hand crank.
So if that's the attempt you want to, is that what you guys want to use next then?
Sure.
It was that, and it was high temperatures and breaking with low temperatures.
Yeah. So you guys are trying to find a way to heat it without using Adesh's fire because he can't right now.
I can make it cold. I
Yep.
think at one point I was just shooting ice in the corner to refine something or something.
Yeah. So
I'm
using
just making lanyards.
using the drill, again, it gets absolutely no purchase whatsoever as you're sitting there, and you just keep kind of like.
Can I like put my paw on the crystal? Like, what does it feel like? Do I feel anything?
Sure. So, placing your paw on the crystal, have you ever put your hand on one of those static electricity generator things?
Yeah.
Kind of a similar experience where you start feeling energy kind of going into your body and trying to leave it by the easiest path possible. You guys watch as Fubari kind of puffs up a little bit as her short fur just starts to stand on end. She becomes very fuzzy.
Oh, it tickled.
Well,
I know how to get back here. Can I touch you?
Yes.
Oh, wait, before we do that, wait. I want you to do two things. One, we need something that can store energy. What's something that can store energy? Let's see. And
Batteries.
Sarai kind of starts looking at it. That's essentially what I want to do. Is I want to see if we can take some of the static or whatever is causing Fubari to puff up as soon as she touches that crystal and store it in some other medium.
Question.
Yes.
I have because I made a shield that has like charges with it. Would I have like extra like battery compartments to like get stuff out of like to like take the energy and like put it in
With-
there?
With the amount of time that you had, because you guys are only back for a few days, I don't think you would have been able to develop basically portable batteries. But your shield itself has a battery built into it to hold those charges. So you don't have additional batteries, but the shield has something in it that holds a charge.
It has like a Leyden jar type thing.
I start getting out of my suit.
I'm going to take a second. I'm assuming that we had charged it before we left. I'm going to discharge one of them purposefully, wind it back, and put the shield close to see if I can maybe get it to take some of that electricity off to charge it again, to pull some of that off.
Okay.
I give them entire suit.
So I need you to
sure there's a
describe
battery in here.
I need you to describe exactly how you are going about doing this, because it's going to change how it works.
Okay.
Oh, idea.
Jax, do you want to explain the idea before?
No, go for it.
Okay. So I'm going to. I like to preface this that me, the person who's playing Motto, does not understand the concept of how electricity charged things this part. So this is gonna be weird. I want to see if maybe if I like put a wire like to where like the battery compartments are and like kind of like direct it towards the electricity that's coming off of Fubari, or I guess the static electricity, if there can maybe be like an arc to like get down onto the wire to get to the battery and start like siphoning the electricity away.
Okay.
I don't really know if that makes sense in any sense.
The question I have for you, where are you getting the wire?
Wouldn't I have wire in general as like a tinkerer?
If not, I have some in my pockets.
I would say because your tinkering tends to involve making shields, wire would not be something that you generally, because this is the first time you've ever had a quote unquote powered shield.
That's fair. Okay.
However,
Fair,
like
but
by
metallic.
definition, Fubari has tons of random junk, so I could see her having some kind of wire.
It was on my initial list of things in my pockets.
Yeah, so if you want to get it from her, you can get it.
Fubari, can I get some wire from you if you have any?
Okay. And she starts digging around in her pockets with her free hand and starts pulling out like one end of a very long wire and just like spooling it out in a small cloud.
Fubari, I love you. Can you come with us everywhere?
I think she just tried.
I
It didn't
like
work.
very quickly like
But
try
if
to like
people
put the
from
wire.
Koimala can, that means that there's a possibility that others can as well.
Yeah, they just didn't do it.
I
this
like
way.
put the wire by where the batteries are, or like the where the charge is. Um. Now what do I do with the other hash? Um. Shoot.
Jiraiya sees this. Oh! Have
How does
Fubari touch it.
electricity work?
Have Fubari touch it, or have Fubari put it on the crystal, since it's reacting to her.
Ooh!
Her ability to.
Thank you, Zariah. Thank you.
Jiraiya's just watching this like.
I don't know
I know where you're
if the
going.
panic is Mato or me not realizing how electricity works.
Probably a little
I-
both.
I like to remind the people that I work in tech. I should know this. And yet,
Depends on what you do in tech, though.
dang, you know what? That's fair. So yeah,
mechanical
I'm gonna
engineering and electrical.
I tell Fubari, put your part of the wire, put it to the crystal. Let's see what happens.
Okay.
Okay. So if you touch the wire to the crystal, and then the other end to the kind of charging port you have on your shield, nothing happens.
Fubari, hold the wire in your hand. Yeah, in your hand while you touch the crystal.
Fubari hesitates for a second with
Basically-
concern. And then just...
It's like,
Amazing.
am I intentionally grounding myself? Is that what we're doing here?
Yes.
Because this seems like a bad idea.
Okay.
There's a moment hesitation, and then she just trust falls.
Vibes.
Okay.
Jiraiya's like ready to
That was the
catch
last time anyone ever saw Fubari.
This is a pair.
Not recognizable at all after that.
So
Oh,
Fubari.
I wonder if this is charging. Wait, also at the same time. No, we'll do it separately.
Okay.
Okay, question for you, Jody.
Sure.
What happens to our teardrops after we use them?
They effectively vanish. They tend to kind of disintegrate after they're used. So far, a lot of the teardrops that you guys have had some sort of explosive aspect to them. So you just never find pieces of them. But for anything that's not explosive, they kind of like Thanos snap away.
The word for that is disintegrate.
So quickly, I'm going to have, because this is going to have an effect on you. Mato, I need you to choose even or odd.
I am a naturally odd person, so we're gonna go with even.
All right. So, Fubari,
That was worth
as
it
you're
just
sitting
for
there, you, electricity is not like a big thing for the Minish in general. You understand because of your tinkering skills and things like that. You do understand the kind of basic idea between like lightning rods and stuff like that. And so you know that electricity can travel along paths and things like that. So that moment hesitation of this could be bad. Oh, well, and then you grab it. You feel this surge of something that you can't really explain. It's definitely not electricity, but you feel it go through your entire body and burn. It is remarkably unpleasant. But what is even more unpleasant is as you feel it traveling through your body, and unlike like electricity travels so fast that you won't wreck it. Like if you get shocked, it hits your whole body at the same time. As far as you're aware, it doesn't actually travels from one point to another, but it's so fast it feels instantaneous. This is not instantaneous. You feel it go through your hand. It's fast, but you can feel every single place where it goes through your arm, through your torso, into the other arm, and out of it. And then as it goes down, just through inference, you can kind of tell how long it takes to go down the wire. And as soon as it gets to the shield, I need wisdom defense rolls from everyone nearby. So I think Dilly is the only one that is at kind of a respectable distance because they
Because
are
Dilly went into a corner to make
Yeah,
lanyards.
to make their almost said friendship bracelets, lanyards, whatever.
Those are different things.
So I'm trained in it. So what do we need to beat?
This is going to be a difficulty 5.
So
Do
4.
I need to roll 2 or
Oh,
Yes.
so 4.
Everybody.
Yes! I got a 12.
All right.
Thank you for being trained.
7?
7. Okay. So that's not quite enough to make it. Motto, Adesh, what do you got for me?
10. Fail.
Another fail.
I did not meet difficulty 4. I instead rolled a 4.
You weren't
Gotcha.
near it though.
I donned my I doffed my suit to be a backup battery in case this didn't work, and so I was nearby.
And you're all basically everyone around the crystal
I
is
thought
close
you
enough
were-
to get hit by this.
Okay.
And since you're all kind of experimenting on the
I
crystal.
know it was Mata who went aside.
So 3 plus you take 6 points of damage to anyone that failed.
Courage.
Anyone that succeeded, you don't take anything, but you, in order to get away from it, you have to kind of jump, and you're carried away with the explosion that happens.
Hey Jody, for damage, is it all from that specific pool, or is it I can like split it up between? I think I
So
can
the way
split-
like just regular damage works is it goes out of your courage pool first, then once that empties, goes out of wisdom, and then once that empties, it goes out of power.
Okay, so it goes
Um,
out of courage first.
Is
yeah.
this
Got it.
regular
Unless-
damage?
Yeah, and this is just regular damage.
Right.
If it's specialized damage, I will specifically say take 3 points of wisdom damage or 2 points of power damage, which is
Got it.
generic damage, starts in courage and goes down.
Got it. Thank you.
So as this happens, there is this very violent explosion of energy that doesn't seem to have a set color. Like it's not rainbow energy. It's just, it doesn't seem to conform to the color spectrum that anyone is familiar with. It's just a strange, colorless explosion. And when everything is said and done, I think Zariah is the only one that made the save, right?
Mhm.
So Zariah, you see something going wrong and just kind of instinctively start to jump out of the way. And this explosion carries you about 30 feet away. As you get up and dust yourself off, you can see smoke basically filling the entire area where you were before. Everyone else, you are feeling massively drained. Everything hurts. Your ears are ringing. And there is this incredibly horrible, acrid smoke, like someone's burning plastic, that is just filling the air around you. Motto, as you're sitting there trying to kind of right your self, you feel a sharp pain in your ribs. And as you kind of feel around, you can feel there is a decently sized metal object that is lodged into your ribs.
Ow! The heck is this?
Goodbye. Are you all right? Oh, Adesh, Mado, are you all right?
Well, I got something is now currently lodged in my rib cage. That's
Ah,
yeah.
how's the battery?
How is the battery?
It takes about 5 minutes for the smoke to actually clear. Your flying shield has flown. the metallic thing in your side is part of it.
Mm.
There are pieces of your shield everywhere else. It is completely detonated. The
Dang it.
battery aspect of it that held the charges seems to have vaporized.
Well, that sucks.
Why is my cat making better dice rolls than I do?
Damn.
There you
Because
go.
cats.
That's how it works.
I am there's a part is my one experience of doing anything that gets lodged into someone's body is don't take it out because that makes things worse.
It's good for anyone wondering. Unless you happen to be an EMT or some kind of a doctor, generally, if there's something in somebody that's not supposed to be there, the best thing you can do, make sure it doesn't move, and then call someone that knows what to do.
Not take things out.
Yeah, taking things
Yeah.
out causes problems.
With Zariah's experience and history with her parents and survival and the whole thing that they were part of, I imagine she got some medical training. Would I be able to assist Mato?
Some ambiguous backstory dropping.
Possibly, this would be a little bit beyond, like, probably some of the training that you would have gotten is don't pull it out until you're in a place that can be like sterile and you have something that'll stop the bleeding. So
Homeostatic. Shoot. What's one of the plants that can surface a homeostatic property? Jax is feeling right now. Hold on.
you want to roll, let's call it a power check to see if you can remember what plant that would be.
Okay.
I believe you have training in alchemical stuff, right?
I do.
So that would apply to the roll. We'll call it a difficulty 4.
I got a 16.
16. Cool. So you think up the coagulant plant. I know almost as much about plants as you do.
I know
So-
assists. No,
So
I
we're
actually
just going to
know
call
this plant.
There are a few plants that have natural coagulants in them.
Yes, yes, there are, but there's this one that's really like common.
And so
And I know
remembers
because-
exactly what it is.
She does
Yeah.
because she's trained in it, and she just read that herbology book from the apothecarists. So, hold on, it's gonna bug me.
Lots of answers potentially. Do you want to say onion?
Oh, aloe vera.
Yeah.
That's not the one I'm thinking of. but
Willow
yes.
bark.
Willow!
Turmeric.
Thank you, Willow.
Okay.
That's all I'm here for.
Really? That's interesting.
Apparently, yeah.
Yeah.
How does
Parsley, licorice root,
onion-
ginkgo.
I
Yeah.
was definitely thinking of Willow, but oh my gosh, I love that. Now I know more ways to deal with deep vein thrombosis.
Wouldn't coagulants make deep vein thrombosis work because it's literally
No.
just throwing off a clot?
Not if you are on a blood thinner.
Oh, that makes sense.
Then it's very necessary to have one hand by close by.
So, yeah, if you want to, I mean,
grow
yeah,
some
it
aloe
would-
vera, that would be very quick and easy to grow.
yeah, you could make some aloe vera.
Let me know
I
if
will
you need
say-
my help. Ugh.
As you're sitting there going, I had a suit that would have protected me from this.
Yeah.
Dilly looks up and just goes, "What happened?"
Science,
Well,
science happened.
we tried a science experiment. It didn't work, and now my nice, lovely new shield is destroyed.
Yeah. Hearing science happen, Dilly goes, "Okay, maybe we shouldn't science anymore."
So if you'd
I
like
think
to,
that too, Dilly.
if you'd like to attempt to kind of remove this and keep him from bleeding out, I just need a wisdom check. It's still going to be a difficulty 5.
Again, another wisdom check.
Uh,
Oh, that was to remember the plant.
Yeah, because you did a power check to remember the plant, and the wisdom
Yep.
check is to actually do it.
Okay. And
So it won't make you roll to grow aloe vera, because I figured you can figure that out on your own.
okay.
As a reminder, you can apply levels of effort if
Yep.
anyone wants
And
to
assist.
assist.
I
That can
did say,
that
let
can
me know
help.
if you need my help.
Yes, please, because it would greatly help if you were able to apply pressure while I was pulling it out.
Where am I applying
like-
pressure?
So if you look right around here, and she shows him, right
Okay.
around the middle, I need you to apply as much pressure as possible.
You want me to just step on it?
No, your feet are dirt. I need you to use your hands,
Oh.
and actually, I need to not to.
All right,
Fubari, do
I
you
don't
have any
wanna know.
alcohol on you?
I don't want to know why Adesh's first response to being told to apply pressure is to assume someone wants to be stepped on.
Mm.
You said all the pressure
Because,
you can. So
Yeah, she should have like a little vial of moonshine equivalent.
Perfect. May I use some of that? That's some of that.
I
Offers up from like a little smoky, steaming hand.
attempt to.
You said
follow.
they're just like you have like a little fire burning on
little-
one of your whiskers.
Yeah.
Sorry, it goes over to grab it and just goes. Thank you. Perfect. So, Adesh, here, take a little bit of this rubber on your hands. I'll do the same, and then Mado, I'm going to lift up your shirt even more so I can get a better view. Actually, I'm going to cut it off.
That's
cut a
fine.
part of it because then I can help sew it afterwards. Okay, so Zorayan like basically rips his shirt apart. All right. She puts some alcohol around it. This is going to hurt like a son of a. Are you ready?
No, but you know what? Let's go for it.
All right. Deep breath now. Actually, do you have? She turns.
We're using you a lot.
Yeah. We love your pockets.
Pockets are for.
Right, do you have something you can bite on? Oh, wait, so you don't have
she
a
has-
leather belt. Oh, yes. That'll work too. And Dash, actually, I imagine you have something leather on you.
I have my
Since your
shirt.
first instinct was to step on him.
I could take my shirt off and wrap it around as a thing, and you can bite on it.
Oh, all right. That's interesting. Fubari, do you also have any bandages? Because I don't. Actually, I imagine we would have come with bandages. I doubt we would come into
Travel
another
first aid kit.
travel first aid kit. Yeah.
Yeah, you would have basic.
Okay. Perfect.
No, your
I've got
your
scissors.
basic
I've
gate
got
travel.
band-aids. I've got neosporin, and I've got.
Your basic like gate travel kit. You know, you got a little power bar. You've got the little bandages.
All right. Perfect. All right. Are we ready?
I am
Sure.
All right,
actively
Adesh.
applying pressure.
Fantastic. And then I had to beat a what? A 3 now?
Mado, open up, and I
a
just
4,
stuffed
a
my
4
shit
now.
in his mouth.
So yeah, without using any effort, it's difficulty 4.
Okay.
It was 5, now it's 4. So
Fantastic.
if you want to put any levels of effort, that'll put it even lower.
I've got an 18, so.
Works fine.
All right.
So takes the better part of probably about 10 minutes to get everything to work the way you want it to.
Okay.
Motto, she did not lie. It did hurt like a son of a bitch.
Ah!
But
It's a muffled scream.
you're just going.
Dear
Shit
God.
after this.
I wish you had your fire so we could cut her eyes though. It's all right. Hopefully it didn't hit any major blood vessels.
You know, we can make.
Well,
fire
and
the
you
old-fashioned way.
sanitized it, and another useful aspect of aloe vera, aside from it being a coagulant, also is antiseptic. So
Yes. Aloe vera is amazing, you guys. If you
Yeah.
And
grow some. It's really easy
if-
to grow.
if you were not aware of basically how, like, ever in, like, you can get aloe vera gel and stuff like that. It's literally what, like, you break the leaf of the aloe vera and it just drips out of it. Like,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
You can also buy it to drink too,
Why would you
which
drink
is
it?
a little bit more effective than the gels in some
There are
instances.
Reasons to drink aloe.
Because it tastes delicious, actually.
Does it?
It does. I love aloe vera.
It's very sweet.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's
I
good for
have-
gut health too, I believe.
My little wipe thingies have aloe vera in them, but
Yeah, it's so great. It's a moisturizer. Like, anyway,
so
now you know.
Adesh is now bandaged with his ripped shirt. And yeah, everything goes as well as
Wait,
it
why did you bandage
can.
me? Bandage Matto.
Because I wanted to bandage you with Mado's ripped shirt.
So look.
No.
Okay.
So as far as we can
Ow.
tell,
Okay.
none of the
Take your
energy.
player
Mado's
intrusion
bleeding
token.
out.
Take your player intrusion token, Elias.
I'm collecting player intrusion tokens this campaign, like Ilea collected. What did they call it, the last one?
Legend
Legend
points
points.
last time.
You ruined my collection of legend points by getting rid of the MVP vote.
I didn't get rid of it. I just forgot about it a lot until it stopped
That-
happening.
Look, you might not have actively chosen to get rid of it, but it is your actions that got rid of it.
I still think it's hysterical that Arel ended up with more legend points than
You know what?
Zolta.
Everyone
Yeah.
else here was modded and could have made that poll. Okay.
So as far as we
Fair.
can tell, none of
Okay.
the energy that came off of the crystal was managed to be stored in the shield. It just kind of ended up
Overpowered it
exploding the
and
piece of it.
exploded.
Okay.
Yeah, to be perfectly
Everything
honest, because of the explosion, you actually have no idea
Mm-hmm.
what happened. Whatever it was, it reacted violently. Whether it was because too much power went in and it overloaded the battery,
I like
whether whatever the battery is made of didn't react with the
that. The
power
chemical
correctly.
reaction, Yep.
Can we go examine the shield or what's left of it?
Would I just pull out a motto?
Yeah, well,
Part of it.
I guess
Hey,
I don't understand. Is it like an accessory off the shield that blew off and got into Motto? Is it like the whole shield?
The whole shield exploded.
Oh, okay,
It was
okay.
literally a metal shard of the shield that was embedded in him. And the rest of
Okay.
the shield is in pieces to the point where there's not a whole lot you can learn from it. The battery itself
Mhm.
vaporized,
Oh,
and everything else is smoldering and melted and very unpleasant looking.
okay. But other than taking some damage, is the wire that I had from my pockets, is that intact?
The part you were holding on to is intact.
Uh-huh.
And you have about 6 inches of it, and then it's broken and pieces of it are everywhere. 'cause
The part that was like on
explosions.
the shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I love you, but can we try something else?
What do you want to try? Maybe
Do
let's
the same thing
explain
with the
it
tier.
before
Do
we
the same thing
it.
with the tier that we have, even though the tier is a detonation, maybe it can somehow bypass it if it's giving so much energy that it's able to essentially shut down and then cause an explosion with the battery, but that's a different
So-
story.
Can we do this in a way
basically
that maybe we're
override.
not? Can we do this in a way where none of us are in the blast thing? Because
This- Regrettably, we need Fubari to touch it because that's the only way
Well-
this electricity is traveling.
I don't think we necessarily do if it can travel along the wire.
Well, but there was no response when we put the wire to it.
Yeah.
Mm.
You guys, the first thing you did was you pushed the wire to the
Mhm.
crystal and nothing happened.
But
It wasn't until you grabbed onto the wire while holding or touching the crystal that something happened.
But here's the
Okay.
thing. When you were touching the crystal on your own, the only thing that happened to you was the static electricity, essentially, where you puffed up really cute. So if you're holding a crystal or a tear, excuse me, if you're holding a tear, perhaps it can charge the tear and overpower the whatever energies in this tier that's causing it to react the way that it does, essentially,
Yes,
becoming
that
like a
makes
light tier.
sense. Fubari is far more hesitant this time.
question:
Have to do this.
Can we get like just wood from outside and make
Mm-hmm.
it wet, and then just use that to be a ground?
Well, no, here's the thing. If we add any outside connection, that outside connection might be what's exploding. Like the wire might have been too effective in charging the battery, which caused it to explode, or just reacted poorly with the metal of the shield. Don't
Is it
know
just
yet.
'cause
We'll
the
figure that
shield-
out.
Is it just because the shield is from around outside?
It's quite possible. I'm not certain yet. I have a very strong feeling that it was the
Two-
battery and that we overloaded the battery.
2-3
I-
more explosions tops, and I'll have a theory.
That's exactly it.
Fubari.
I
That's
thought
exactly
we
it.
agreed science bad.
No,
Don't do it.
Dilly, go back into the corner. Adesh.
I'm out of things to turn into lanyards.
Fubari.
So do we-
Pick up some of the metal that's around and see what you can make of it. Adesh, put on your suit. Mado,
While
go sit
this-
in the corner as well.
While this is happening, I'm like
Time out.
grabbing the remnants
metal?
of my shield that are like still a thing, putting them in like a separate bag, and then I'm just gonna go as far away from everything as I can, and then maybe roll my recovery roll to maybe regain some cool.
Okay.
Oh yeah, mine's in action right now. I should do that too.
Yeah, mine is an action.
Fubari, you do not have to agree
Adesh,
to
shut up.
this.
Adesh, go away. So,
Just
But
so
here's
you
the
know,
thing.
you have a choice here. We do not
He-
wish to cause you harm for something that may or may not work.
so if we put the crystal, wait, did Fubari put the tier to the crystal, or did we put the tier to the crystal?
You put
Dilly
the
did.
tier to the crystal. Dilly.
Perfect. Dilly did. That's right. So, it's quite possible either we can try
And
two
now
things.
it's flat
I-
on one side.
Yes, I need another crystal because I only have one on me. Sorry, another tier because I only have one on me.
So
Here.
I
Someone give me one that's not explosive if
Take
you have
my
one that's not
auto
explosive.
mapper tier. Drop.
get mine is not gonna help here. It's actually a shock attack one, so it should not be mine.
Yeah, my other. one's a
I already
shocker.
damaged one.
I've also got the one that I found.
Right,
in
is it
this realm.
explosive?
No, it lets you talk to inanimate
That's
objects
right.
that have
Oh.
faces on it.
Wait,
User can talk
talk to
any-
what?
It lets you talk to like inanimate objects that have like faces on it. Like the
Dilly.
user-
Dilly,
Does anyone have
do you
a
have
marker?
crayon?
A marker? Yeah.
Ubari, do you have something that could maybe write on the crystal?
Oh my
She-
Doesn't
god.
need to etch.
She takes out like the stick that has a charred end.
Great.
No,
and
you
hands
And
that over.
Dilly is going to do a rudimentary smiley face.
Please be careful.
on
Don't
the
touch
crystal.
the crystal. Please be careful.
I'm touching
is-
it with the stick.
because then it does have a face on it.
So as
Mhm.
you attempt to draw on the crystal, the burnt stick does kind of wipe some ash off, but the ash doesn't stick to the crystal; it just falls to the ground.
Dilly, not sorry.
Ubari, I need something better.
No,
Goodbye.
no,
Do you-
wait. I
do
have
you
an idea.
have-
We have some blood, right?
I have an idea.
She hands Mado's shirt to Dilly.
Yeah. Great. Dilly's gonna try to
Here,
see if the
just-
blood.
No,
can
no,
go
no, no,
on.
Stitch
not with our
Mato
blood.
and I's shirts together and wrap it around the crystal, then draw it on the shirts.
Well, but then
But then the
then
shirts
the
have the
shirts are
face,
gonna
not
talk.
the crystal.
Well,
we need crystals to talk.
I feel like a
Alright,
nothing
conversation.
sticks
Dilly
on
is
this crystal.
wiping blood onto the crystal.
So
Dripping off like it's been scotch guarded.
that's all right. It just needs to be a temporary face. It can drip off while we're talking to it.
We
I
have tape.
I feel like if you're
Is
being
there
face and you
tape?
try to have a conversation for it, we'll just be screaming.
It'll it'll just go, ah!
Why am I alive? Who
Only
is putting me
temporarily.
in
We
this?
need this answer quick.
Okay,
Before
put
you do
We have
something.
lost it.
sticky.
No, man.
I need something sticky and I need paper.
Fubari has something sticky. So Fubari has the sap.
I
But
have,
does
Yeah.
this
Okay.
count-
I have another
Two.
idea
It's
if
happening.
this doesn't work.
Okay.
All right, wait. So hold on. Before we try that and potentially waste.
Why are we
Oh,
insane?
wait. Okay, so we have two crystals, neither which detonate. If we attempt to use the one that Fubari has that speaks with animals, perhaps the crystal can drain, and it'll be an empty crystal shell essentially. And then we can try charging that. Or we can also try charging the one that's still active with the map aspect. All right, Science, are you ready?
So we're gonna use these crystals as eyes. What's the smile?
Oh, I do like
N-
that
well,
idea.
well,
No,
it'll-
you can't
it'll
do
absorb,
it. No,
It'll
no.
absorb the teardrops and there'll be nothing left.
Which is why we need Fubari to be holding them.
No, see, my
As a reminder to everyone watching, one
Fire
of the
intrusion token!
redemptions, you can do is actually to send a
Leave a
teardrop
teardrop.
to one of the players. So
My idea.
Can I use a player intrusion to have the face stick?
Oh my
unfortunately,
god.
due to information that you haven't gathered yet, but you probably will by the end of this session,
God, I hope so.
you can't. Nothing sticks to.
We are
this
not that
crystal.
far from the end of this session.
No.
Okay. My idea was to use pieces of the exploded shield to just hold up to the crystal so that perhaps something like blood, while it may not stick to it, would hold in place against the crystal. And so we could do like eyes and a mouth and just like hold it up and then use the teardrop on the crystal. And while it may not stick to the crystal, it's still kind of like on it and can maybe use it to speak.
Let's also try
There
the
must
sap that
have
Kubari
been
has.
some magic
In
in
the
those
Oh.
broken
pieces of shield
shield
that we
you
found.
found.
Did I accidentally
So I'm going to
reference
take
a
the
music song?
pieces, and I want to stick using sap things to the face of the crystal.
So let's see if the sap actually sticks first, because if
Yeah.
the sap sticks off, then this is completely irrelevant. Also,
And
if
just
whatever
smear
we're drawing the
sap
face
on the crystal.
is not sticking to the crystal. Actually, if we do this, even if we're holding it up, it's not technically a face of the crystal. It's
No.
something that's being held to the crystal, so it's essentially like a paper being put
So,
on the crystal, which is the face of
Billy-
the crystal itself is the face of the paper.
With a hand covered in charcoal, blood, and sap at this point. It's going to just smear their hand
Nope.
across the crystal
Nope.
and see what
Nope.
happens.
Instantly,
Dilly.
as soon
Bye,
as
Dilly.
soon as she reaches her hand out, Zariah is going to hold her hand. No touching.
And
Do
now
you
they're
want to go
stuck together.
home?
Dilly's other hand comes up to touch Zariah. to touch Zariah. Boop.
Thank you. Go
But
sit
it's
in the
like-
corner, Dilly.
Realize Dilly's hands are covered in charcoal, blood, and sap.
That's all right. Zariah is quite all right with that. She already has Mardo's blood on her. She doesn't mind.
It is
doesn't-
also
I've already got
Mato's blood,
in my
so
hands.
Yeah.
So here's
I'm
here's a
sorry.
question I have. The
Yes.
crystals,
Sure.
are we thinking that we need an empty crystal in order to fill it up with additional energy, or can it be a crystal that's not used and we just like
We were gonna
right
So-
on top of it?
Trying to figure out both. Because if it's
Oh.
an empty, we've never had an empty crystal before. All of our crystals have been detonation, essentially.
Oh, all the ones you've used have been detonation?
Thus
Like that
far,
doesn't
yes.
surprise me about Zariah, but
Well, that's
literally
all
all the crystals y'all have used have been detonation.
That's all the ones
No.
we found.
Okay.
Except
No.
for Adesh's now map equivalent.
I mean, I have one that's nature shield, but
I guess
I
in
already
all of
damaged a crystal.
But
in
the
all of
problem
your
is if
ad-
it goes large. Uh-huh.
in all of your adventures, have you not had a like shell of a crystal hang around?
No.
Because
So
they've
they
been
are-
detonation ones. This is
Okay.
the only tier that we've been able to have a crystal have
Oh.
something that's not.
Imp, does it not prompt for a?
Who is that being sent to?
Does it not prompt for a name? Because if it
It's
doesn't, we
just
need
for
to
a-
change that redemption.
It's just a teardrop that shows up, and then whoever has space, right?
have
Hmm.
space.
Technically, they should be allowed to give it to someone, but you guys can trade them regularly, so it doesn't, or whenever you want. So it doesn't really matter. What does matter is I have to open up a list of teardrops.
Fantastic. While you do that,
Who are you talking
So-
to, Zariah?
I'm talking to you guys.
Oh, well. it's
So
somewhat
I'm talking. I'm saying while we either attempt to empty a crystal, because Dilly, I'm concerned about the crystal that you have. If whatever is making it a nature shield will actually like shatter the tier itself.
Well,
Or-
and I couldn't use that crystal earlier.
We'll just use the auto
just-
mapper. It's an innocent effect
Yeah.
that should not negatively affect anything anywhere.
It's very handy. All right. So let's do this. Let's try one that's already charged and see if it will essentially deactivate it and fill it with this alternative energy that's coming off of the crystal.
Here is my
If it-
auto mapper teardrop.
No, let's keep that one for a second.
Oh, which one
Let's.
was the one that you wanted to use? I thought
We're
that
going to
was
do the. If you're willing, Fubari, I will trade you my detonation creature for your speak with animals one or speak with faces.
Oh, so we're not gonna.
So as you guys are
Secret face.
speaking about this, Fubari, as you're kind of going through your pockets and things like that, you notice something that you don't remember putting into your pockets before. Looking at it, it is a somewhat small-ish crystal bottle with a stopper in it that has a kind of thick-ish red liquid. And I need you to roll a d6 for me.
Also, did we know that?
Could you
Fubari
make the
could-
roll for me? I don't know if I have
Absolutely.
6 handy.
Did we know that? Fubari could
It is a
use
4. So
teardrop?
this is a level 5 teardrop. The official name is What the Doctor Ordered.
Ooh.
And I will
Just a little too late.
put it in chat.
Ooh.
So it's in the Roll20 chat, but restores the number of points equal to the cipher level to the user's choice of pools. In addition, the user adds +3 to their next recovery roll.
Very handy.
So
Thank
you
you.
just got a red potion.
It is. And Soraya is very happy. Can I have some of that?
Soraya.
Do you have to use all of it at once? All she sees is that it's a vial of something that's sparkly and pretty. And she's very interested in its components. Oh, but maybe it's something with the liquid too. Maybe it's something that we can use. Oh no. More experiments to run. Wait, no. Wait. Hold on. Let's try this. But what if it's a liquid from here? What if it's like
Are
a
you
sap
writing
and we
down
make
all
it
these
Does-
with
does-
ideas,
crystal?
or are you losing them as soon as you think of another?
Does
one?
No, I
Fubari
still have
innately know what this thing does that she's found? that the-
Yeah, you don't know how you know, but as you look at it, you just instinctively know this will heal.
Right.
And not only will it heal, it will make it easier to heal the next time somebody needs to heal.
If we are continuing with the experiments, this seems very, very useful. Because I am a little ouch.
Sometimes I'm a little out.
Just
too.
little ouch.
All right. So if that's the case, I need you to put the potion, whatever you have, farther away from your body. So I need you to put it outside of the range of the crystal. Because if the theory that we can decharge one of the active tears, if we can decharge one of the active tears, we want to keep that one safe.
So we have the map tier. So we're in the Temple of the Minish, right? Are there
Mhm.
any sort of like bas relief faces or anything in the temple?
No,
There's no
Good question.
carvings,
nothing that would indicate a face.
nothing that
There-
I could use this crystal on or this
No.
other
No.
thing.
No,
Okay.
no. So we don't want to use your crystal right now. What we want to do is I know we do want to use your crystal.
We want to empty one of them, right? So I was
Right.
seeing if there was something easy to use it on.
There's something in your pockets. Dilly, do you have something with a face on it? I feel like you would.
I think they have a
Hides
face.
their daggers.
Do the daggers have faces on them?
You don't
That
want to
could
know
be
what
a
the daggers
retcon.
have- You don't want to know what the daggers have to say.
Sometimes the daggers were my only friends.
Dead.